Way back in 2009 when the Indica Vista was launched, so appalled was I with the design philosophy. I actually went into a marketing event, recorded a full 3-minute video, and in that I begged and pleaded to Tata, saying, you just bought the JLR, take a cue or two. And fast forward to 2017, boy have they taken a cue. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Tata Hexa. Now one look at the car and it is really hard for us to say it is an MPV. Part of it is because of the way it is styled. Now Hexa being 6, you will definitely find a lot of elements which are styled around that theme. The first thing that you notice is the way this grille is. Now the grille has a lot of honeycomb patterning around it, which has got the hexagonal shape. And you will also find the Tata's Humanity line, which has become a standard along all their models, but here it is much more thicker and it has a very nice chrome treatment to it, which adds to the premium appeal of the car. And the way the car is sculpted is it is more narrow in the front. Now this cuts a lot of volume on the sides of the car, which makes it look much smaller than it is. I'm not saying it is very small, but it takes off a lot of volume from the car. There are a lot of interesting elements in this car, especially the way the bonnet is designed. It is a clamshell bonnet design. It adds a lot of muscle to the front end. Now the headlight is a smoked double barrel unit. The fog lamp housing is really nicely done. It has the hexagonal treatment, the whole pattern that you see around here. It has a horizontal DRL running around the whole housing, and it has a very simple fog lamp. Moving on to the side profile, although the length is quite long and it looks very MPV-ish, there are a lot of design elements which add to the SUV stance. First thing is the flared wheel arches. It is sitting on a 19-inch alloy, and it has these really nice plastic side cladding which adds more to that SUV feel. Moving on to the main part of the car, the sloping roof line, it also has a very nice chrome slat running along the length of the car, which adds to the overall premium feel, and it actually makes the car look a segment above than it really is. Now there are also a few more design elements. One is I really like the chrome garnish here, which is on the handle. It looks really nice, and it adds to the overall appeal of the car. The rear part of the car has this blacked out matte finish D pillar and a shiny C pillar. Where the slope meets the rear end of the car, it adds to that feel that it has a floating panel, which is a very nice thing to look at. I must apologize for the way this rear looks, because I couldn't stop myself from doing a little bit of off-roading while getting here. Anyways, moving on to the tail lamps. Gone are those really long Christmas tree like tail lamps, and Tata has made way into these really nicely designed tail lamps, which have good LED strip running around, and it also has a very thick chrome slat which runs from one tail lamp to another tail lamp. It adds to the overall appeal of the car. It also has a very nicely done boot lid. It is treated in chrome, and it has these ribs to stop it from scratching a lot. Let's have a look at the inside, the boot space. I must say it is quite heavy to lift, but it's totally worth it. When you look at it, with all the 3 seats up, you have a lot of boot space, and these fold not flat, but oh yeah, they actually fold flat. You have acres of room here. Now the interior of this car is a very nice place to be in, mainly because most of it is finished in soft plastics. The first thing that you immediately notice is this really nice and perfectly sized steering wheel. Part of it is because it is wrapped around in leather. It has all the integrated buttons on it, and you will find soft touch plastics everywhere on this car. Special mention has to be given to the way these seats have been built. First thing is that the side bolstering is really nicely done. The underthigh support is more than adequate. It has perforated holes in it. This pattern allows for less sweating and less heat generation. It also aids in more heat dissipation. The dashboard has two partitions. The top is also finished in leather. It is a cooled compartment, meaning if the cabin temperature is around 20 degrees, the interior of the glove box will also be 20. The bottom of the glove box is not temperature controlled, which you can see here. It is fairly adequate. You can keep your magazines or all the important documents here. The infotainment system is by Harman. It also has the Connect Next from Tata. It comes with 10 JBL speakers along with a subwoofer, and the audio quality is top notch. The rear seats of this car is where most of you will spend your time in. Now, if you want to talk about the legroom, it blows the competition away. Look at this place. Look at this. You can actually recline. You can actually pull your, legs around and have a very comfortable seating position. You also have a lot of headroom, and there is enough space for the other seat also. So you will not be rubbing around with your co-passenger. And special mention has to be made to these air vents onto the pillar. And of course, if I'm feeling really hot, I have this blind. Just pull it up, close it. This is straight from a BMW. Getting into the rear of this car is fairly easy. All you need to do is get up and walk right into it. There. It's as simple as that. And it's not all that congested. You actually have decent legroom, decent headroom. Two people can actually sit abreast without any fuss. You also have air cons onto the D-pillar. It also has cup holders at the back. So Tata is very serious about the people that are sitting at the back. And it is fairly usable. You can actually keep a soda can or a cooling bottle. It is very, very usable. And it also has reading lamps and latches to hold on to.
Today we're in the Hexa, and the first thing that I'm going to do is create a dust storm. So just wait and watch. Woo! Whoa, this car's got some crazy ass stabilizer. I don't feel that sort of G-force that I'm supposed to feel. The amount of body roll is minimal. I can just see a cloud of dust around in front of my eyes, and this car just doesn't give up. It's so good. It's so good. What do I say? Yeah. Whoa. So that created one massive dust storm, guys. And as you can see, we are out in the open amidst a dry lake patch in Bangalore, and there's a lot of muddy terrain around here. So we decided to put the car into rough mode. So let's see how it fares. So now I put the car in the rough mode. I can already sense an improved sense of traction, because what this mode does is it actually splits the torque equally across all the four wheels based on the sort of terrain that we are driving on. Since it's a very muddy track, there's already a good amount of torque that I can feel is being split across all the four wheels, and the ride seems to be very plush at the same time. You don't get that entire jerkiness that you would generally experience. So let's just try a little more of bad roads over here. Yes, there is definitely that sense of confidence that this mode is going to add on if you want to take this car out for the small off-roading activities, if you would be interested in. These modes do not actually touch anything upon the suspension. What it actually does is it just changes the air is to fuel ratio going into the engine. So you don't have any sort of suspension adjustments that occur when this mode is selected. Well, the off-roading experience has been good so far. This may not be a major off-roader, but yes, definitely it has the ability to take you out on those rough terrains. And with those 19-inch wheels, the ground clearance is also good. It's in fact the best in this class. So it practically can just take any sort of undulations with ease. Well, the ride quality of this car is really good. It's very stable. There have been certain videos where we've been hearing about the manual gearbox being a bit rubbery. Well, yes, it is a little bit rubbery, but it's not something that you cannot deal with. I mean, driving this car for a few kilometers, you just get used to it. The gear shifts are actually nice. They fall in place. You don't have to put in that extra effort. And the steering is pretty lightweighted for a car of this size. And as and when you're going fast, it tends to weigh up beautifully. It gives you that immense sense of control at all times. So yes, Tata Motors have never had issues with the ride quality in the past, and this one really is no different. It's got terrific grip from those tires, and the MRF has specially designed these tires for Tata. So we all know that the kind of work that has gone into this car is really precise and immaculate. And continuing with this kind of work, Tata has a brilliant future in front of it. And now the entire perception of buying a Tata car is definitely going to change the minute you drive the Hexa. It's ages ahead of what we've been seeing in the past from Tata. And this engine, the 2.2 liter Varicord diesel motor, which generates close to 400 Newton meters of torque and around 156 horses of power, is supremely refined. You can practically feel that the engine is so smooth in the lower RPMs. It's got a very meaty mid-range. So the minute you cross around the 1800 RPM, there's a strong surge of power that immediately just makes you want to, stay in the power band. And at all times, the car is very engaging. And yes, this is a plus point for any guy who wants to drive the car often, because the guy who keeps driving it is always connected with the car. And one more thing that I feel is really good is the NVH levels. Tata has really worked to make the cabin a very nice area to be in, a very nice place to be in. The sounds are minimal. You can barely hear a lot of the diesel clutter coming all the way in. Of course, until you rev it to the higher RPMs. So there is definitely a good amount of noise insulation that Tata has done for the cabin. So now there's one more small feature that I would be talking to you about, is going to go miles ahead in terms of safety by Tata, is the brake pre-fill. So what happens is, let's say that you are in a panic situation where you're supposed to hit the brakes immediately. So what happens is, you tend to just quickly leave your foot off the accelerator and jam the brakes. The electronics in this car senses that there is a panic situation, and it gets the brake pads closer to the rotor, so that on terms of, and when you hit the brake at a very short travel, the brakes are applied. So this adds to effective braking during panic situations, and this is going to be one very safe feature that you would be looking forward to. Tata Hexa also comes with a host of safety features. This car is one hell of a safe car. It's got 6 airbags, 2 in the front, 2 along the seat, and 2 for the side curtains. So what this does is, it protects your car and the passenger inside from all the angles. So from the frontal collision or the side collision, passengers inside are safe. And we all don't have to doubt the build quality of the Tatas ever. They use amazing material. The quality is top notch. So yes, even in case of an impact, this car is definitely going to get good rank in the safety aspect. Apart from this, it comes with the 8th generation ABS and also the ESP and the EBD. So what this does is, during emergency braking, the car knows that which tire has to have maximum brake force distribution.
So the Tata Hexa then is a complete package. It has terrific legroom and headroom for all the passengers. The last row of seats are also very usable. It comes loaded with safety equipment and all the bells and whistles that one can expect from a car of this segment. With prices starting from 11.99 lakhs ex-showroom Delhi, this car has definitely decided to give their competitors a run for their money.